So now we are moving toward our last part of this chapter, that is Darwin's theory of evolution. So Darwin is called as the father of biology. He is a biologist and a great scientist named Charles Darwin. Studied numerous types of plants and animals and suggests that only those organisms are likely to survive which can best adapt themselves to a changing environment. He said that only those animals can survive, they can adapt themselves for a changing environment. Means, as I give you an example of dinosaur in last lecture, means thousands of years ago dinosaurs are there, but after some time they vanishes. Because what? Because they cannot adapt the changes in the surrounding easily, so they vanish out. But Darwin suggests that what, the animals which are the animals and organisms are likely to survive. How? By the adaptation. Means as easily they can adapt the surrounding changes, they can live longer. Okay, now this is the Darwin's first principle. Means as long as the animals are adapt the changes in the surrounding, they can live longer life. Means they can survive for the fittest. Okay, so second, if an organism is born with a new beneficial characteristics and is able to survive, this changes is preserved in the next generation also. As we know, in the humans also some characteristics are transferred from generation to generation, genes to genes. Means from your father mother you get some characteristics of your father and mother. You have same habitant like your father and mother, or you have a same smile, you have a same eyes also. So this is also a transfer of genes. So same goes with animals also. So this is the Darwin's second principle. What? That is, if organism is born with a new beneficial characteristics and is able to survive, this changes is preserved in the next generation. This is Darwin's second principle and called as the theory of natural selection. Okay, this is what the two theories proposed by Darwin. Now next point is what? Classification of living organism. See, what is classification actually? Classification means we have to, as I give you some balls which have different colors. As I give you balls in a one box and I told you that you have to classify or you have to separate these balls. How will you classify that ball? How will you separate that balls? By the help of color, because you can recognize colors. If that in that box the colors are blue, green, yellow and red, so you are separating red ball in one side, blue ball in one side, green ball in one side and yellow ball in one side. So why you are classified that ball easily? Because you know the difference. There is different color ball is the same thing but color are different, so you can classify easily. So same, the need of classification is there with the in plants and animals also, according to their characteristic, according to their color, according to their habitats. Okay, so it is difficult to study or remember all the organism in this diverse living world at the same time. So that's why we have to classify the living thing. Because if you are classifying it in herbivorous, carnivorous, so you can easily tell that lion and tiger are carnivorous, deer is a herbivorous, elephant is herbivorous. How will you tell that? Because you know that what is carnivorous, what is herbivorous, it is the type of animals. Okay, so there is a need of classification. So different scientists have used different criteria and independently classified plants and animals. Okay, so a hierarchy is formed in the classification that start with a kingdom Animalia or kingdom Plantae. As scientists study the classification, so they classified these plants and animals according to their theories. So they classified plants start with animals with kingdom Animalia and kingdom Plant. Further groups or subgroups are formed depending upon the basic similarities and differences. This is called the hierarchy of classification. Hierarchy means tree. As you are aware of the family tree, grandfather, grandmother, your parents, you, after that your sibling, okay, or your uncle, aunt. This is what your family tree. Same goes with animals and plants also. So there is a hierarchy, which is called a tree diagram. So one table is given. See, hierarchy is what? Type is kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genes, species. Okay, example, mango. What is the kingdom of mango? It is plant. Phylum is Antophyla. Class is Dicotyledon. Order is Sapindales. Family Anacardiaceae. Genus Mangifera, specie Indica. Second, kingdom in human in animals, example human, kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class is Mammalia, order Primates, family Hominidae, genus Homo, species Sapien. In history we study Homo sapien, Homo sapien sapien. Okay, this is what the species. So now main part is what is this classification actually? So bionomical nomenclature by Carl Linus. Carl Linus is a name is a scientist who give a scientific name to the each and every organism. For example, as in your class, the 4 student with a name Kabir in your classroom or a Kiran in your classroom. As I told you to identify that particular person, how will you identify? With their full name, middle name and surname. Okay, so for this so if you are talking about any one of them, how will you ensure that? By their surname or a middle name. So this is similar to the bionomical nomenclature, means as humans have a particular name, okay, with name, middle name and name, father's name and surname. So in case of plants and animals also, one scientific name, that is called as bionomical name, is given to that plants and animal by the scientists, that is called as bionomical nomenclature. Okay, so bionomical nomenclature is used to identify each organism. Accordingly, a scientist's name has been assigned to each organism. It consists of 2 parts. The first part is genus. See that table. Genus for mango, Mangifera, species Indica. So genus and species both combinedly we can say that it is a scientific name. So for mango the scientific name is what? Mangifera indica. For human scientific name is what? Homo sapien. For dog also have scientific name. Each and every plant also have a scientific name. So all identified organisms have been assigned a bionomical name as per the guideline of International Code of Nomenclature. So each and every animal have a scientific name according to their height, according to their habitats, okay, according to their reproduction scheme. So see, one table is given in your textbook, that living thing dog. The scientific name of dog is what? Canis lupus familiaris. The scientific name of cow is what? Bos taurus. The scientific name of hibiscus flower is what? Hibiscus rosa sinensis. The scientific name of jawar roti, that bhakri, which we eat from that jawar. So jawar is sorghum bicolor. So number of scientific names are there for the different animals and plants. Okay, so this is about what all adaptation in living things and organisms. So here we are done with our lesson today. You can solve exercise now.